Awesome. Thanks, Apurva, for joining us today. Guys, our readers, our listeners, Dr. Apurva, is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Dr. Apurva is there with us today, and she's uh, a sports fanatic. She's actually into sports for so long, actually, as we know. She's an entrepreneur. She's a co-founder for even Strength and Conditioning Academy in India. Probably, if I am correct, Dr. Apurva, you are the youngest certified strength and conditioning specialist in India.
Oh, that was a long time back. Now
Oh,
there
yeah.
are other people. When I
Yes.
started that time, I was the youngest.
Yeah, you are the
Yeah.
youngest. So
Yeah.
it's like creating your own milestones, and so you are basically one of those who created that milestone for others to follow. It's like Sachin Tendulkar making that 100 centuries, and then people are still chasing them, which is always a delight. Um, and guys, I mean, you have done your masters in physiotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things which I was reading about you very interesting is you believe that exercise is the only medicine, is the best medicine, perhaps, for anybody, regardless of their age, and but making sure that it is in the right proportion, making
Mm-hmm.
sure that it's rightly balanced as per your regime, as per your routine, and etc. etc. So, guys, this is Dr. Apurva. Thanks, Apurva ma'am, for joining and giving us your time. Maybe
My
just
pleasure.
start the conversation with a high level introduction, which I may have missed. I just covered maybe just 10% of what we do and how you do. But for our readers, if you can just give a small gist of your background, and then you can get started.
Yeah, so I'm basically a physical physiotherapist, and then my specialization is in return to sports. That's what I look into. Like that's again, that's how my experience and everything caters it. And again, high performance training. That's the strength and conditioning for the athletes. So taking the athletes back to their pre-injury status and enhancing their performance so that they can do better than what they were doing before getting injured. That's what is our vision and agenda for all our athletes. So I'm working in that scenario. So that's one part, and the another one is we had the educational organization, that's the pioneer body for strength and conditioning. So all the strength and conditioning coaches, they need CSCS certification, and that certification is taken care by us in India. So that's how are the two domains which we manage currently. Yeah.
NSCA, if I may sound it correct, National Strength and Conditioning Association.
Conditioning Association. Yeah.
Is that a government of India body, Dr. Apurva, or is something as just an association in private? You know,
No, it's a US organization, and it's a worldwidely the gold standard organization for when it comes to strength and conditioning and sports science, the sports industry, sports
right,
fitness. So it's the gold standard. And the NSCA India is I'm their international coordinator for all the movements, whatever happens in our country and Southeast Asia, we take care of that. So the NSCA has the gold standard certification, that is CSCS, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. So those are the basic credentials which you need in order to get a job or a designation as a strength and conditioning coach worldwide. That's
right,
the basic designation you need.
right.
So we cater their courses and programs in our country. That's what we do.
And that's a lot of work to
Eh,
coordinate
yeah,
internationally.
we are currently in Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi. So that's the southwest and north. These three locations we are there in
Right.
India now. So yes, so our students are getting good exposure. They're understanding what is the real education of the strength and conditioning is something which we have started because that was something big loophole. So our we had coaches, the skill coaches who take care of the technical aspects of the game,
Hmm.
but there was nobody to make the athlete
Yeah.
physically and mentally ready for the game and all of that. So
Right.
that basically is taken by the strength and conditioning professionals. And yeah, our students are doing a wonderful job now. They are dispersed all across the globe. So
Yeah.
that's how
Absolutely.
it's going. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Interesting things you mentioned while you were talking about is the the paradigm shift in 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 the information people have around strength and conditioning now has evolved so much compared
Mm-hmm.
to early years when there used to be just a coach, no physio, no strength and conditioning. You do whatever you have to do yourself. And these are the
Correct.
things which was so much followed in the West, but not so much popularized or mainstreamed in India, which
Mm-hmm.
now is gaining so much of momentum, so much of steam,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to people like you who have been really putting hard and making sure that
Mm-hmm.
you move the industry little, small step by small baby step. Um, Before I come back to some of the other technicalities around strength and conditioning, I just want to understand from you, because a lot of our readers will want to understand uh, physiotherapy and strength and conditioning are some of those areas which initially, when kids are starting in, trying to turn their attention towards their careers, not very aware around some of these aspects of what's the career like, what's the future like. So what kind of areas, and how do you think the current generation, the current set of students who might be looking to get into this as a career should
As
plan
a career.
should plan their career path, and what is in for them that they can still make it a dream, which is having a career of their own and of the choice.
If they are really, I would always suggest that the people who are really interested in sports, they should choose this, they should pursue it. Otherwise, it becomes boring if you're not interested in that particular area. So, if you're really passionate about training athletes and the high performance training of the athletes, working with their injuries, then you should look for this particular option. And being a strength and conditioning coach, that's a wonderful career opportunity because it's now very glamorous.
Right.
Because when we entered in India, when we started long back, there was like people used to ask us that what's the difference between a personal trainer and a strength and conditioning coach. That was the era which we saw. But now people are really, if you'll see the Instagram bios, there are so many people just writing strength and conditioning coaches, though they are certified or not, but it's just like a glamorous thing for everybody.
Right.
But so career wise, it's a very very sustainable and nice good career,
Mhm.
unless and until you enjoy training the athletes, because training athletes is not a cakewalk. It's training a general population, a normal person, is something you give some tips and bits of exercises and they will work for them, or they are okay if it doesn't work also. That's how it is. But when it comes to athletes, we cannot waste their time at all, because by default the athlete career is very small and nobody has a right to waste even a single fraction moment of their life, of their career, from that. So when whichever exercises, whatever you will give, you have to be very mindful, you have to put in extra effort in scripting their programs. You should have real answers that why you're giving this particular exercise and all. So if you're ready to put in extra efforts and enjoy that process, then this becomes a wonderful opportunity. So CSCS is the basic certification by which you have to start. Again, but in order to pursue CSCS, you must have some base work. Like you should be at least knowing the human anatomy, the human body a little bit, because CSCS course is little what you can say difficult. The exam is very difficult. The passing rate is just around 50 to 60%. So that's so low all across the globe, not only in our country but everywhere, because the exam is very difficult. But if you have the proper base, like you are knowing about the human body, little bit of science and all, then you can join any of the proper courses like NSC in India. We offer a nice big course where we take a hand holding theory, including the practicals. So it becomes, if you are able to put in good effort in that, the journey becomes smooth. And once you clear CSCS, then there are so many opportunities where you can apply, because now in our country, sports is booming like anything. So even the small clubs and all, they do look for the strength and conditioning coaches and all of that. So depending on your expertise and experience, you get different levels of opportunities. And then you can keep on growing in that area step by step. You can choose, you can specialize in any particular type of training or in any particular sport, something like that. So because we have so many students who are just getting focused in one particular sport, so they are just focusing on golf, some few are just focusing on tennis, or some are just into endurance sports. So that's how they specialize depending on your interest area, and you can take the career ahead. So it just depends. Like it's a challenge. It's a sustainable, I would say, field, but you need extra efforts in that because it's not a structured industry yet in our country. If you will see the medical practice or the corporate practice, it is a proper way that if you have 5 years of experience, then you will get this promotion, then you will get this, you will get those opportunities. Like that, it is not structured in our country, the sports industry yet. So little bit of bits and bits of challenges are there. Yeah. You can just give me a moment.
Sure.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
could see your son. Is it son or your daughter?
No, my daughter. So
Daughter.
today I'm having Ganpati at my home. So all 5 days I was working. Today I'm at home and doing my meetings from home, So she's there around. So yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. I think
Yeah.
this is the beauty of working from home. You're so
Yeah. Yes.
you love
Yeah.
to manage. You can easily manage your time so well. I think.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, of course, I love What's her name, by the way?
She's nicer.
Nisa. Wow.
Nicer. Nicer.
So yes, Apurva. I mean, come back to what you responded. I was just recollecting some of them. You earlier actually mentioned about, and if I gather correctly, you don't need to have a specific sort of a degree or a specific sort of a background, as long as you know about human anatomy, as long as you can.
No, for getting the exam done, you should have a bachelor's degree. You should be having a bachelor's
Bachelor's
from
could
any
be
field, that's okay.
any field. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the bachelor's is mandatory. And for getting the admission in our courses, there is an interview and then there is an entrance exam. Once you clear the interview and entrance exam, then we shortlist few students, number of students, and then the course begins. So it just happens twice a year and three locations: Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi.
And these are exams conducted by your organization.
The entrance exam, yes, that's
Okay.
the
Okay.
preliminary exam, but the NSC CSCS, which happens globally, so it is taken by the US headquarters.
Right.
That
So
exam
when you say
happens.
your program means Strength and Conditioning Academy, the academy which you are running.
No, that is my training the athletes. So
Right.
that is a different brand which under which we train the athletes, and NSCA is our education brand.
So this exam which they have to give is comes under an SCA.
Hmm. Yes,
SCS is what you're talking about. Okay.
yes.
Wonderful. And the other thing which I understood you mentioned about focusing on a sport, they must love the sport. If they don't love the sport, this is not a field for them. Because
Correct.
training general masses, general public, general people, I think you don't need to be a so-called go to a practitioner. Somebody will give them some information, they will follow, etc., etc. But if you are literally trying to make a career, you must be a sports fanatic, rather, I would say, somebody
Hmm.
who want to get onto the field, who want to understand the psychology of an athlete going
Hmm.
ups and downs, etc. uh,
Hmm.
Wonderful. So this gives a good enough background, and some of our readers who might want to consider this, we will also display and add some of the information around the certifications around your academy. If we can get some, I think some of the readers who might want to look for a career in this can really be very helpful for them.
Sure.
Apurva. So this is something which we will do definitely and try and spread the word as much as we can
Sure.
through this small step. Now, come back to the other aspect, Dr. Apurva, is how did you personally start into this? I understand you did your master's in physiotherapy, as a practitioner. You started from there, but was there a intent, or was there a mindset which you always wanted to pursue, maybe human anatomy and biology, or physio as a career option? How did it all start for you, since your early age and childhood?
So physiotherapy was my first choice when I did my so when we have our entrance exam, you have to choose MBBS or physio.
Right.
So physiotherapy is something which I really wanted to, because I wanted to do something with the exercise and fitness. That was my lookout that time. So, and as I completed my physiotherapy, like the undergrad and the postgrad, then I wanted to be into something which is very, very, something aggressive. I did not enjoy working in a very clinical oriented practice.
Right.
I
Right.
wanted to be, a little bit aggressive, working with those actual real squats, deadlifts, and explosive exercises. I was happy with that rather than, the typical physiotherapy exercises. So then I started looking forward more opportunities. And then fitness was something which I always had a fascination to. So I did my education as a certified personal trainer from a very a local academy. So got to know about multiple aspects from there. And then I started with my, side by side, my physiotherapy practice. I used to train many athletes from the fitness perspective and all of that. And that's how I came up with Return to Sports, something very, very, what I can say, challenging. And that is something which is lacking in our, was lacking or yet lacking in our country, because physiotherapists take them back to their day to day activities, take the athletes back to their day to day movements, and strength and conditioning coach take them directly into the high performance. But there is a big gap between from normal activities to the athletic activities. That gap is something which we fill by doing the return to sports or return to performance. So I especially worked in that aspect, and that became more and more better. I started loving it, and that's how I got introduced to NSCA USA. And then since I was practicing, was working with the athletes, so I wanted to have a proper education system in place for this particular domain what we are doing. And that's how we brought NSCA to India, and then we started a proper education for strength and conditioning in our country. So that's how the journey began, and it's just going widespread now. Yeah.
Wonderful. So,
Yeah.
all cheers to you, because there's tons of effort which you have put in, and now you can
Hmm.
see with the amount of commercialization of this particular field is happening. I think there are immense opportunities. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, true. So one thing which came to my mind, the academy which you run, strength and conditioning academy. Now, what is your focus on that academy? So this is pure, as you rightly pointed out, you're running a full program, full courses for training the athletes over there. So the training part is under that particular academy.
Yes. So athlete training is under SCA, that's the Strength
Okay.
and Conditioning Academy. But again, we are rebranding it. We are not no longer putting that SCA. So it's there on the Google, but we are going to remove that website soon.
Okay.
So yeah, but the athlete training goes under that.
Okay.
And in that we have, so it's just like if there's a fast bowler who has got an ACL injury. So before ACL injury, if he was bowling at 135 kmph, that was his performance. Then he got an ACL. Then he comes to us in the later stage of the rehab. We take him through the later advanced rehab. Then the return to sport. He goes back to playing the fast bowling movements, but he is playing at 120 125 kmph. Then we work with him more and take him back to 135 to 140 kmph. That's what we actually train for. So right from the ACL, taking him back to that 145 kmph means better than before injury what he was. That is
Absolutely.
what we train the athletes for.
Right.
So this is just an example like how we go about
Got
it.
it. Got it.
But that's how we work with all the athletes, taking them back. So we consider injury as an time which is a opportunity to make your body stronger and better than what it was. So that's what is our vision for all our athletes,
Yeah,
that they
ensuring
should
that
go
they
back playing
true.
better than what they were.
Ensuring that injury never happens again. You're much more prepared,
Yes,
much fitter.
yes,
Yeah,
much more stronger than before. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Some of the things which I was speaking from while you were talking about. So when you gave this particular example about a bowler and picking up speed and all that stuff. Now, as an academy, is it all physical? Is it all manual? You go with the athletes into the grounds. You give them tips and tricks, whatever it is. They perform. You check, or there's also a digital element to it. So
Yeah.
how do you go
So
setting that up?
So we get a lot of these professional athletes, and then professional athletes, they are all across the globe. So basically, in India, if you'll see the most of the athletes we get from the north side, like Delhi, Punjab, Haryana. So if they're playing at the professional standards, so initial part we do it online with them, because initially you need that much time for the muscle to open up, to get relaxed, and all of that. So those sessions they take online, and once we start with their speed training or with their explosive training, the power training when it starts, that time they come down to Mumbai for 10 days or 15 days like that, where we go intense with them. It's like every day one session or every day two sessions, depending on the athlete's level. And from then they get back again on the online when they are going into the match, so when the season starts they again follow up with us online. So it's that hybrid thing which we do for the outstation athletes. The athletes who are from Mumbai itself, they do come for the physical sessions. Sometimes they prefer to take it online. It's okay with us, both the aspects, because we are very confident about our team. So both the varieties, that the online and offline, the quality of the consultation is the same. So there is no difference as such in that, because we make the athletes more independent. So there is nowhere that the athlete has to come and sit with us and then we are giving them some modality or some machinery or something like that. That's not the case. I want the athlete to be as independent as he or she can be. So they should not need me every time at each step of their life. So they should understand their body and get aware about it better. So it is a hybrid model we do, online and offline. Yeah.
Perfect. And when you do it online, how is it like? Do you take it through some systems, some platforms, or software?
Yeah, through Zoom call. We do it through the Zoom video consultations. Yeah.
Just give me a minute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So come back to the training aspects, be it online and offline. You're talking about. I mean, of course, in online through Zoom calls, you'll consult them, etc., etc. But how do you deal with situations when an athlete is going through a rough phase? And the last thing an athlete will want is injury. And with,
Pardon me, I lost you in between.
I'm saying that the last thing the athlete will want is an injury, right? Any
Is
injury,
an injury.
injury,
Okay, yeah.
because
Correct. Yes.
it takes them off the court, it takes them off the ground, and then they'll be
Mm-hmm.
sitting idle, like recovering for next like 6 months to 8 months to 1 year. You never know. And they go through a mental battle as well. There's a lot of mental battle whether I'll be able to make it again, because they always run a threat that someone else can come and occupy their space. So they may get out of the race, and some of them may be able to pick up after injury. Some of them may not be able to pick up or go back to the level they were earlier. So how do you deal with such mental, stress, or I'll say mental and physical alignment of a player to ensure that the recovery is fast, optimum?
So my strategy is very simple. I keep the things very transparent. I tell the athlete, because this is something which my athletes have told me, which happens with most of the doctors, is the athletes don't know what has happened to them. And so then they just keep on asking the doctors, ki kitna time lagega, when I will go back. That's what is the question. So they are completely in that uh, disoriented zone कि मालूम ही नहीं है what has happened and how much time will it take. So that doesn't happen. So that what we do is we are very transparent that this is the problem, this is the issue, this has happened, this will take approximately this much time. That's what is clear with the athlete. And whatever exercises we give, it's a simple stretch. If even if a simple stretch we are giving them, the athlete knows how that stretch is going to enhance or is going to affect his on-field performance. So that correlation we are very, we teach and we tell the athlete in detail. So if he is a fast bowler and if he is releasing his hip muscles, how that hip muscles are going to help him to deliver a faster ball later on. He is having a clear idea about it. So the adherence from the patients, the adherence from that athletes for that particular exercises are very high. And when they tune themselves, when they tune their mind and body together in that particular exercises, the results are very quick for us. So for our athletes, it is very transparent, and there is a lot of counseling which happens. Counseling in the sense, not the proper psychological counseling, but making the things that how this muscle is going to help you in this particular shot. So if it's a badminton athlete, how you opening your latissimus dorsi or how working on your latissimus dorsi muscle is going to help you into improve your overhead smashing power. So they know that when they are doing it. So when they go on the court, when we start with their, on court practices, because that is something which we do. We just don't say, ki, abhi jaake khelo, go and play. That's not things which are going to happen. They go with us on the court, play with in front of us. And when they are doing it, so the moment we have already worked on their latissimus dorsi, they have visualized it when they are doing the exercises, it becomes very easy, and it becomes a very easy transition to get those movements in their sport movement patterns. It becomes very, what you can say, the transition is very quick, and the
Right.
athletes get better confidence when they are able to perform that.
Yeah.
So we go that step by step and go building up that confidence in them. So
Right.
every session, at the end of the session, the athlete should be very clear that
Mm.
what has happened in this session,
Right.
which muscles or which ligaments or what we have worked on, kisko strong kiya hai, and
Mm.
how it is going to help me to get back to those high performance moments better. So
Right.
the athlete is very clear about it. Therefore, it becomes easier for our athletes to get into that zones. That's
Right.
how we work. So mental and physical, that goes together hand in hand. We
Right.
cannot just say that a B physical session is done and for mental session you go somewhere else and work
Right.
there. It should be together at the same session.
At the same time.
Then
Yeah.
it gives a better chances of getting back to that old performance.
Well,
Yeah.
and good thing that these are professional athletes. They are very
Yeah.
aware. They're very aware of the demands, and they're very aware of how and where they want to be in the next few years and few months. So I think always raring to go. So I think the imbalance will not be as much as we expect them to be. Of course, they are thorough professionals, but do you also ever come across a situation when there is resistance? When you may have a different school of thoughts, they may come from a different school of thoughts, and if you find certain resistance among fitness on agreeing to certain way of working, agreeing to certain way of handling your fitness and strength. How do you come across these?
Yes, many a times, because when you work with the professional athletes, they have their strategies of winning the game, and then suddenly you cannot just change. No, no, these strategies. No, you try my strategies. That will not work. So you have to understand their reasons. You have to put forth your reasons, and that's how we discuss, we analyze, and then we come to some conclusion where I compromise little, they compromise little, and we give it a try. So try करके देखते हैं. Let's see. Obviously, in season अगर athlete है, we will not take that risk. But if that athlete is in the pre-season or early off season, we can give it a try and see. You try doing these things and play a match, and let's check it out. Just do a practice match and check it out. So now, for example, if like for badminton athletes, usually the footwork which we work upon majorly, so we just add up some things in that footwork, and the athlete is sometimes very rigid that no, this is something which I've done right from my childhood. This is what my coach says, this and that, and okay, that's fine. Just try doing this in your upcoming practice match. And we are recording them, we are seeing them, we are understanding, and we ask them, how did you feel after that? If was that your efforts were less as compared to what you usually have to put in, कि अगर overhead smashing तो so you have to put in your 100% of force in that, but this time when you did that, did you feel easier, did you feel lighter? So if the answer is yes, that's how we take it ahead. And if the
Yeah.
athlete is feeling it very difficult to overcome that ease, then we respect that and we change our methods of training him or her. So that's how we, so every athlete is different. Every It just depends on the situation, how you have to, work on it. And again, the season, where what is the season? If the athlete is going for the national championship tomorrow, and today if you're telling him to do anything extra, that's just a wrong way to manage that situation.
No,
So yeah.
absolutely. I think what you said um, makes so much sense because it's
Hmm.
about those smaller practices. It's about testing yourself, making sure that it's working, not working, um, and then coming to terms with it. I think these are small, gradual processes, which I think, as you rightly pointed out, the
Yeah, so the athlete should the athlete should know that what they should feel after doing these changes.
right.
If they don't know it, and if you just think कि नहीं ये अच्छे से करो आप gold medal लाओगे, that doesn't make sense to them. You cannot wait for them to get a gold medal with your practices. They should feel the difference immediately in the next time when they are playing, when they are on the court. If that works, then go ahead. If not, then check it out. That's what we
And
believe.
how do you set your engagements with the coaches? Because every athletes have a coach, full time,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
as strength and conditioning coach, you guys come into the picture. What kind of bonhomies normally you will have with the coaches out there, and coaches will have a different way of coaching, a different style, different way of thinking, and you will have to align with theirs, isn't it?
No, there is never a contradiction with the coach. I would rather see, it's like the boundaries are very, very clear. The coaches are really good when it comes to the technique part of the sport, and SNCs and our as and return to performance or return to play for export, our boundaries are different. We are good in understanding the human body and getting the working, making the body ready to so that the athlete can take those techniques better. So I always keep on telling my athletes or the coaches to tell me where you feel that the athlete is lacking in your language. Tell me. Because for now, if it's a fast bowler, I basically get a lot of cricketers and badminton athletes. So if it's a fast bowler, so I want the coach to tell me where the athlete is lacking. So the coach will tell in his language he is slowing down too quickly. Yeah, he is throwing the ball at 11 o'clock position. I want him to throw it at 12 o'clock position, something like that. In his language, he will tell me. And then we reciprocate that into the anatomy and biomechanics point of view, that what exactly is restricting him from getting that technique correct. And then we work in that direction. So because that coaches what they see from the technique perspective, I cannot see that, and what we see it from the human body perspective, they cannot see it. So it's a combo which we do it. And when we start working in that aspect, the coaches are really wonderful people to guide you and help you in making the athlete better, because both of us, like coaches and us, our both have the same
Those
agenda of making the athlete better.
true, true.
So it helps us a lot. But if you just go and tell them that no, no, what you're coaching is wrong and this is how you should go, then that's the wrong way. That's absolutely wrong. You
So it's
should find out the opportunities to make a good connection with them.
so it's
Yeah.
just about having those sessions with the coaches to understand the probable deficiencies, and how both of you can come together, come up with a plan to make sure the athlete is able to recover or maybe regroup on some of those missing aspects. What?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So when you explain and when, as I told you, you should show the results.
right.
You just say that you implement this footwork, as I gave an example of the badminton athlete. You do this footwork, you just keep on pushing that. But when the athlete is performing in front of you, when that athlete is not able to perform better with those footwork, it
Right.
makes no point in giving that to the athlete.
Absolutely.
But if you're doing some changes and if your coach is able to see that yes, the athlete is doing better, so why the coach will say no for it? Understood?
True, true. And that's the
Yeah.
relationship. That's a, I call it tri-party relationship. You have a coach, you have an athlete, you have your strength and conditioning. So it's like
Hmm.
three people forming that kind of a relationship where each and every person trusts each other to make sure that
Hmm.
there's no gap left.
Hmm. Hmm.
Basic. And how is your team, Dr. Apurva? I mean, all of this is, I mean, you are there, of course, giving guidance and suggestions and whatnot. But how is your team structure like? I mean, for every individual athlete, uh, how do you go about planning the team? Who goes and what's the logistics about around it?
So every athlete, obviously, I know all the athletes who are training with me. So that is there, and then we see what is there, what's going wrong, and then we have the other team members for whom I tell them that these are the issues which we need to address this session, and then they take it ahead. So it's that way. So for the physical sessions, we have all of us in the same room, and then the athletes do come in the appointment basis properly. And
Right.
on the online also, we have the team, one member for one athlete who is going to be dedicated for that particular athlete.
Okay.
And just a moment, yeah.
Sure.
And that's how we guide them in that manner. So my all the teams are also, they are also the strength and conditioning professionals. So
Wonderful.
they are also very well versed in all these things. But again, yes, we all know each of our athletes. So every team member knows all the athletes whom we are training. So it's nowhere like somebody is completely unaware about that athlete. It's
Super.
not that way.
So
So yeah,
that's good. And the facilities for specific, an athlete coming to your office, you will run through some sessions, so you'll need that facility and infrastructure. So is that something which you have it on premise at the moment? And
yeah.
okay,
So in Mumbai, where we are working out, we have a gym, we have a sprinting track here, we have a proper studio where it is, assessments and everything is done. So those all things are there
super.
where the athlete goes through it. Yeah.
Yeah. In times to come, when I make a trip to India and perhaps most likely Mumbai, it will be good if we can spend some time at your facility, take some pictures and videos, and
Yeah.
let people know about your facilities as well, not just you, of course. This will complement. Even in fact, after the session, it will be great if we can send some of the pictures, so we can try and include them into the interview, so that people can see actually what kind of facilities you run, what kind of trainers, and what kind of profiles, experienced trainers rather, not everybody. So I think
Sure.
this can really help a lot of people who might be looking for suggestions or help. Maybe they can come down, talk to you, and that can be
Yeah.
a great boost to your business.
Where are you located?
I'm located in Singapore. I'm based in Singapore, uh,
Okay.
but I almost every quarter I make a visit to Mumbai and Pune. Um,
Hmm.
it's expected to be anytime this month and or next month, but we'll definitely
Sure.
reach you because it really helps the wider community. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Most welcome. Yeah.
thank you so much.
Hmm.
I mean, we have only 20, I think 10-15 minutes left. So I'll just try and rush through some of the questions which actually is in my mind at the moment. Going forward, Dr. Apurva, I mean, what do you see in terms of the latest technologies or methodologies or advancements coming into strength and conditioning? There is a human element to it. There is an online element to it. But how do you think in the next few years it's going to evolve?
It's going to be wonderful. We get to know a lot many small things which we cannot see, and we just cannot keep on assuming it. We need some objectively measured it. We cannot be too much subjective about our athletes.
Right.
So the technology gives us that opportunity to objectively measure what we feel is lacking or is good in your athlete. But end of the story, that data, what comes out of after that, what to do with that data, that is your human expertise, which nobody can replace it.
Absolutely.
So there is an asymmetry between your left leg and the right leg power generation, but how to challenge that, how to train that I don't think any technology or any sport science or
Yeah.
any artificial intelligence can do that for you,
Right.
because every athlete is different, your human body is different, everything is going, everything is individualized.
Right.
So that's the coach eye which will take the decision, and your expertise has to be there. So everything is there to support the human intelligence, but nobody can replace it.
Right.
So the coaching, I believe in the coaching eyes. The more you are able to find out those movement patterns better, the war is already won for you. It becomes so easy for you then.
Absolutely. And how do you see sports science? Because sports science is another domain which is like very hot, very very hot in the market. Uh,
Hmm.
Even in academics, like people going for bachelors and masters in sports science. How do you see sports science playing a role even in the area of strength and conditioning. Because sports science is not just about this particular area. It, as you spoke about data, they have different technologies. They capture a lot of data points around a particular athlete's performance, technicalities, and then you need a human mind to articulate those data points, which may include as well areas of strength and conditioning. So, how do you see these two complement each other?
Yeah, so sports science is again a very umbrella term which has these all other aspects like strength and conditioning, performance enhancement. These all are the parts of this bigger version of that is sports science.
Right.
So that is picking up at a very what you can say accelerated rate, and
Absolutely.
it is giving us lot much information about our athletes, which is absolutely very beautiful, very good. Because for our strength and conditioning courses which we are taking, so lot many aspects we talk is about the sports science and the sports technology. So now we are coming up with the NSCS Global Conference in India. It's on 16th and 17th March. So it's going to be the first sports science conference in our country.
Okay.
And we are having all these sports science big people like all these brands which are there in the sports science like your world performance and all of that. They are going to come with their equipments and they are going to demonstrate how to use that. So the force plates and velocity based training and all these sports science things which are just upcoming, so our kids are able to get a hang of it, get the hands on training of that. So we are very much what you can say receptive about sports science, and I want more and more kids to take opportunity to learn them because it's wonderful. It gives you so much of data, and but you should also know how to utilize it. So
Yeah,
just using those machines will not make sense.
a lot
You should
makes
know how to utilize the measurements and the data what you get. So for that, we are coming up with lot many, as the first step is the conference, the international conference which we are hosting now. So there, they these all coaches, all the global experts, subject matter experts, they are going to be here, and everybody according to their expertise, they are going to, train the participants who are going to attend the conference. So that is how we are taking the steps to make it play, to go to the nook and corner of our strength and conditioning in our, at least in our country. So those international standards are coming back here in
sense.
our country.
And this conference, International Global Conference in Sports Science, is happening in Mumbai.
Yeah, it's in Mumbai, 16th, 17th March
Okay.
at Novotel Juhu.
Wonderful. So we will definitely see if we should attend this.
Why not? Yeah, you can just visit NSPA India Instagram page or the website or whatever. You'll get the details about the speakers and
Yeah,
what are the topics involved there. If you want to, come there as an exhibitor or anything like that, so that more people know you or something like that, that is also
we
the
will love to.
possibility. Or
Definitely.
you can just attend the conference, whatever works for you. You can
Wonderful.
just see that on the website.
That's
Yeah.
good. Thanks for in fact informing us. There's
Yeah.
also when being in Singapore. Singapore is very highly sports centric. It's like every house, the people are very athletic. Somebody will be doing some sports for sure. And sports science as an academics has picked up really well over here. And there are universities who have spent millions of dollars set up laboratories around sports science. And one of them I visited recently, a few weeks back, and they demonstrated how they use 3D cameras and all that stuff to
Which one is that? I say.
no PSB. It's called PSB
Okay.
Academy.
Okay.
And they have set up a sports science lab. They were demonstrating how they use different new technologies. It's very latest. And they demonstrated. I was like shocked. This is the amount of level of detailing which they are going into. Using 3D cameras, they actually capture your stance, they capture your technicalities, your body postures, etc., etc. And then they go through that with you as an athlete.
Hmm.
And then once you see what you are doing right, you know what is wrong, you will actually better realize it. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's the fact. I mean, once you see it, this is the way I'm performing. It's not the right way of doing it. The system will tell you this is how you're doing. These are the areas you need to recover. Excellent. I mean, and as you rightly pointed out, yes, the data points. I think you still need those, brains like you to interpret those data points, and then, so I think it's definitely going to complement you by a lot. isn't it? I mean, this
Yeah, even we have a lot of technology. We use the force plates and all of it. So Wald is our sponsor. It's an Australian sports science brand. So
right.
they are our sponsors. So they have the force plates, the timing gates, and the posture assessment technologies and all. So we do utilize that on our athletes and patients, and also for our students. We just, if they are in Mumbai or anytime, they get a hang of it. NSC Singapore is coming up now. You because we met them last time when I was in Germany.
Okay.
So the Singapore people were there. Are you aware about it?
I am aware. Yeah, I'm definitely aware. I mean, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they are making right noises, and that's where I'm saying. I mean, and in Singapore, associations are really impactful.
Hmm.
They really go into the depth and breadth of the society and make sure that the habits are inculcated in almost every individual.
If
Um,
their population size is small, so they can do that.
yeah, so they can really take initiatives to that level, making sure that
Correct.
everybody is informed, each and everybody is aware. They'll give
Yeah.
you gifts, they'll give you tokens, they'll give you a lot of other benefits just to bring you outside the home. You know,
Yeah.
so
So
it's
for
good.
this conference, the NSCA Singapore people is also, I'm expecting them to come
Sure,
because all the foreign affiliates are going to come. They are from the Shanghai, Korea, Germany, and obviously the US headquarters, they will be there.
will be coming.
So yes, so all the global partners are coming there for the conference.
Super. I think pretty much we are done, Apurva. Thank you so much for finding time. This has been uh, such an eye-opening exercise, not just about knowing you, but knowing so much about strength and conditioning, about conference, about the career path which people might take.
Mm.
How is it shaping up in years to come? I think we wish you all the best in what you're
Yeah,
doing. Keep doing
same
it.
to you.
Yeah,
So we need more and more people, working at the grassroots level so that helping them becomes so really, something impactful for our athletes. That's wonderful
no,
job you're
definitely.
doing. Yes.
Thank you so much. So we will need your help.
Sure.
Harshita will reach out to you to collect some of the infrastructure photographs and
So
uh,
this will be an interview published or what is it?
yes, this interview will be published on our website.
Okay. The
Yeah,
video or the reading material.
reading material.
Okay.
The video we will put it to YouTube, but it will come maybe within a month's time.
Okay.
Not so soon,
Mm.
right?
You can tag me so I can just share it on my page also, so
Definitely,
that there
definitely.
is like because I saw your Instagram page
Yeah.
and but there's not too much of content on that, I think.
Uh,
Yeah,
did you see our page or the homepage of Synergy Sports?
I don't know which is there in the Harshita's this thing. I saw that. Yeah.
Harshita is her individual profile, so you can go into Synergy Sports. You can search RL
Okay.
Instagram profile.
Okay.
You'll be able to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
We will
Good.
definitely we will definitely inform you, tag you, and whatever we can, because we want
Sure.
to spread the word as much as you want to.
Yeah, we want to just help the athletes. That's the only thing which we want because we see so many career-ending injuries.
Absolutely
So I just want, that the athletes should be able to, the deserving athletes at least should be able to perform at that
true,
their best.
true,
They
true.
should be able to give their best. They
In
should
fact,
not lack back. Yeah.
such is the conversation that I have many more questions in my mind. is
Hmm.
is
Sure, we can catch up later anytime.
yes, yes. In
I'll
the
be more happy to help our athletic population and the
wonderful.
students who want to pursue strength and conditioning. So that's how we can work together.
So
Yes.
we're trying to
Look,
cover both aspects. People who are coming in as a
mm,
workforce and people who are, they are servicing eventually the athlete. So I think we are kind of interfacing both of them. You understand where I'm coming
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
from.
true. Yeah, we look forward to see you in the conference. That will be a
We'll
wonderful
definitely
time we can spend
reconnect.
together. And you
Yes,
will also get to know many people because all these our Indian allied strength and conditioning coaches, we are targeting them. They are speaking on all these, the most hot topics nowadays in our industry. So
okay,
injuries and the performance and the sports technology and all of that. So you
sure.
can make a lot of connections and all. So I
Yep.
think it might give you a better
We'll
boost.
wait. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
um, once again, I think thank you so much to spend time
Most
on
welcome. Thank you so much for
your day. Have a
inviting me.
lovely, have a lovely weekend ahead.
Yes, yes.
Hope to
Thank
see
you
you
so
soon
much.
Bye. I'll definitely drop you a message when I'm there.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. See you again. Take care. Yeah,
Okay, bye bye.
bye. Bye. Bye, Harshita. Bye. Bye.
Bye.